Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, I expected a loud good morning. Good morning, everyone. That's the way I like it. A warm and enthusiastic welcome to each and every one of you to day 2 of the 7th edition of Asia's largest FMCG Contract Manufacturing and Private Label Expo 2024. And come on, this calls in for a huge round of applause. Give it up. CMPL is Asia's premier contract manufacturing and private label platform, serving as the nexus for retailers, D2C brands, startups, FMCG brand owners, specialty retailers, and top FMCG contract manufacturers and packaging suppliers across India and beyond. With our robust ecosystem, we have facilitated seamless connections and fostered lucrative business opportunities for all stakeholders, uniting them under one roof. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2 of the Speaq Knowledge Series, a revolutionary platform designed exclusively for the contract manufacturing industry. The Speaq Knowledge Series aims to foster collaboration, learning, and knowledge sharing. The Speaq Knowledge Series unites brand builders, D2C startups, investors, contract manufacturers, and retailers, fostering discovery, collaboration, and the advancement of India's contract manufacturing ecosystem. We would like to thank all our distinguished guests, our esteemed panelists and speakers, and each one present here. Thank you so much for giving in your precious time and being a part of this momentous expo. A very, very big thank you to our brands, manufacturers, sponsors, partners for placing your trust in us and for your constant support all throughout our journey. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sherilyn Fernandez, your host for today, and I promise you all a very enriching day ahead. So are we all ready? Are we all excited to kickstart the day? Yes or no? 5 people say yes. Are we ready? Superb. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin the day with a power-packed session on the topic, redefining food labeling practices to build trust and transparency with consumers. It's time when consumers prioritize food choices. Trustworthy labeling practices are crucial. This session will explore innovative ways to enhance transparency, empower consumers, and build trust between brands and customers, positioning brands as advocates for consumer interest. And this power-packed session, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be spearheaded by one and only, the well-known personality, Revant Himatsingka, Akka Food Pharmer. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for him. He's set to unveil the realities of the food industry and empower brands and entrepreneurs with the knowledge to navigate these challenges. With his unique blend of facts, humor, and deep industry insights, Revant will shed light on unethical marketing practices and how to stay clear of them. His expertise, backed by his extensive experience and dedication to promoting healthier eating habits, will equip us with the tools needed to strive in the competitive food market while upholding ethical standards. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for him, a food farmer. I can't hear the claps, come on. Over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm really excited to talk to all of you. I'm just waiting for a clicker. I just want to find out first, I'll cater my speech and whatever I'm saying accordingly. How many people already know me or have heard, have seen my video? Put your hands up. Okay, then it's good. Then I'll talk accordingly. I won't say unnecessary things which you may already know. Can we have the clicker? So, before I start, I want to give a very brief introduction. Like, you know Food Pharmer, but you don't know Revant Himatsingka. I feel most people just know me by my online presence. So I grew up in Calcutta. I went to the US to study, and I was at NYU. I did my undergrad there. I studied finance. Then I studied nutrition for 1 year in the US itself. And I was in the restaurant industry, so I learned a lot about food. I went to Wharton, did my MBA there, and then I worked at McKinsey. And a lot of brands that are thrashed right now, I used to work in those companies, I used to advise them. The reason why I'm saying all this is I have a business background. Sometimes people look at me as an activist, and they forget that I also am coming from a business background. I understand business. So most of you out here are also from the business side of things. So I'm happy even today to talk about, if you can, it's clear? Yeah. So I'm happy to talk about the business and economic side of things as well. We have to balance, I keep saying conscious capitalism instead of mindless capitalism. So we have to balance profit with purpose, and that's what I'm here to talk about. So when I was in the US, I noticed that many Indians are educated, but we are not health literate. And even if you go to an IIT or an IIM, you go to and ask them basics about calories, proteins, they often will not know the answer. Ki 1 gram of protein has how many calories? Often they will not know the answer. So India, we are very educated. Education pe hum bahut emphasis dete hain, but health literate we are not. Which is why one of my 5-year goals is to try to make India health literate. And most nutritionists in India, they are focusing on the top 1%. They're trying to get Kareena Kapoor to get size 0. They're not trying to get the mass of India to become healthy. And that has been one of my goals, which is why I simplify things. Whatever I say is very easy to understand, such that a regular guy who does not have a background in nutrition can also understand it. So we have to always think from an average consumer's lens who is not health conscious. So that is been one of my goals, is to try to make, I didn't realize I already skipped to the next one, is to get India to become health literate. And, 1 second, sorry. Yeah. Many people know me from the videos, but my message has remained the same over the last 10 years. This is from a book which I had written 10 years ago. It's called Selfienomics. And even in that, I spoke about reading labels. So once again, many people just know me from the last 1 year. He comes and he just makes a video and he goes away. But I've been speaking about the same things for the last 10 years. The only difference is that back then it was a book, but no one really reads books nowadays. So my message has remained the same. My medium has changed, because I realized that people don't really read books anymore. So I changed my medium from a book to social media. And now finally I'm getting the recognition and getting the traction, but I've been speaking about this for 10 years. I have so far got 6 legal notices, 1 2 crore defamation suit, and 1 6-month imprisonment charge as well. And I earlier was extremely scared about this, of course. My parents were also very stressed that, you left the US and you came back and, you're fighting with these companies without any income, you're not making money and things like that. But I have one line for all these brands now, which is, if you send me a legal notice, I will get you publicly noticed. So now, earlier I was scared, but now I'm trying to take it head on, and it's fine. If you want to fight, I'll fight back. Because many companies also intentionally try to send you these things to scare you. It's not that they have any legal grounds. So that's what I realized as well. That's why I try to fight back as well. क्योंकि अगर आप डरोगे तो वो और डराएंगे. अगर आप वापस fight back करें तो हम लोग को भी अरे actually तो ये जो बोल रहा है सही बोल रहा है, factually correct है. If I was not factually correct 99% of the times, I have made mistakes as well. But if I was not factually correct 99% of the times, I would not have lasted so long. And I'll come to the nutrition label sides, but I'm just giving a quick, I wanted to quickly, what I believe in. Everyone focuses on junk food. According to me, even more dangerous than junk food is junk food pretending to be healthy. For example, most of us, we eat chocolates about, on the weekends, we'll have two chocolates on Sundays, 2 chocolates on Saturdays. So in a week, we're having 4 chocolates. but we're having subah subah utte hi 2 biscuits, sham ko again 2 biscuits with a chai. So every day we are having 4 biscuits. So in a week we are having 28 biscuits. And most people think chocolates is what is making us fat, but actually it's the biscuits. So I keep focusing on the things which we do every day. And the problem is I feel the entire world is getting it wrong. If you Google if you Google India diabetes or obesity in India, you'll see a picture of a soft drink. You'll see a picture of a chocolate. You'll rarely see a picture of a biscuit. Actually, it's the biscuit what we are eating mostly. It's not the chocolates. We are eating chocolates once in a week. Same with soft drinks. We drink soft drinks only once in a week, twice a week. What we are having regularly is the children's health drinks and many other products which we have every day. So always the focus is on what we have every day, not once in a week. And I keep saying this, junk food pretending to be healthy is even more dangerous than junk food. Sorry, this clicker is sometimes not working. Okay, I have an interesting question. We'll keep it interactive. What would you put on your resume if these are all your qualities? These are the 15 qualities you have. You're a murderer, you're polite, you're a thief, you wake up at 5:30, you're a smuggler, you're a fraud, you're whatever. All of these qualities you have. Anyone in the audience wants to answer? What would you put on your resume or CV? Polite, punctual, wakes up at 5:30. So, sorry, I'm just trying to work around with this clicker. Yeah, so this is essentially what's happening in the packaged food as well. The front pack, all the companies put polite, punctual, wakes up at 5:30. And then back of the pack is what we are getting the true picture. कि ये क्या actually है वो पीछे में पता चलता है. And the problem is कि most Indians, at least until 6 months ago, we were just focusing on the polite and punctual. And imagine you hire someone and you don't know all of these the package qualities. So my point is, I have been trying to get the public to start reading labels, which is why I've started this campaign also, label Padhega India, so that they become a bit more aware of what they are really eating. Because unless you know what you're eating, how will you, you make better choices? And I have this belief that if majority of Indians start reading labels, one, companies will be forced to put better quality ingredients in their foods. And it's already happened few times in the last few months. Two, people will become more health conscious. If they are reading labels, they themselves will engage with food a bit more. And three, companies will be forced to reduce their false marketing. So if you can call yourself, I won't take names or anything like that, but they will not be able to get away with saying a lot of the different claims they've been making all over these years, making you taller and many more things. That is like my main belief, which is why I keep stressing, read the label, read the label. And I keep saying there are two differences. So today we are going to talk about to make it better as well. I don't want to just give gyan. I want to even try to give some strategies. So one is on the left-hand side, we have marketing. On the right-hand side, in my opinion, we have blatant lying. So marketing, in my opinion, is fine. Again, I'm also coming from a marketing background. I'm from a business side of things. So if you use green color packaging, it's very clear that a company uses green color packaging to give a signal that they are healthy. In my opinion, that is fine. That is acceptable. You're using green packaging because you know that customers think, okay, if it's green, तो वो थोड़ा feel आएगा natural का, या वो थोड़ा वैसा vibe आएगा. And many companies do that. In my view, that is sort of like an acceptable amount of marketing. Using a celebrity is also potentially it's fine. Using a name that is sounding healthy potentially is fine. Okay, I've contradicted myself a bit, but naming yourself, like, trademarking, like, some companies have trademarked certain words. I'll come to that again. Like the second example out there is what I want to call out. Calling a biscuit with 1% cashews as a cashew biscuit. In my view, that is blatant lying. Like, that is 99% or like 70, 80% maida and 1% cashews. And if you call yourself cashew biscuit, that is like where I feel like you're drawing the line, like you're crossing the line now. There is a line, of course. You cannot say everything to the customer. You can like, thoda bahut you can guide people. Okay, you want to sell more. Every business is trying to sell more. Like that is where you're crossing the line. The third point as well, some companies have gotten into troubles as well. If you say you're curing a disease, like many companies are saying you cure COVID, and after COVID started, every second company used to say immunity support. The same company before COVID never used to have immunity support in their package. After COVID, every company immunity support, because they understand अब तो immunity support चाहिए सब लोग को. So I feel that is blatant lying. So मैं आप सबको बोलूँगा, आप लोग सब फूड इंडस्ट्री से हो, मार्केटिंग करो, वो लाइन क्रॉस मत करो, और वो लाइन आप लोग को खुद भी समझ में आ जाएगा कि हाँ ये मार्केटिंग है या ये तो भाई हम झूठ ही बोल रहे हैं. सो मार्केटिंग चलता है, झूठ नहीं. More than marketing, I also want to say from a business lens, every day, tens of companies, if not hundreds of companies, at least in a week, I'm getting more than 100 companies reaching out to me to market themselves and things like that. So far, I've not marketed anyone for money. I have promoted people for free. The biggest mistake I feel people make is that they start companies that they themselves consume. Every single day, I'm not joking when I say this, every day I get one peanut butter company reaching out to me. कि they feel कि peanut butter is one thing which घर पे भी बन जाता है, तो they're like, अच्छा ये तो मैं घर पे भी बना लेता हूँ, and वो कोई एक थोड़ा भी warehouse कुछ खोल लूँगा तो peanut butter हम बना सकते हैं. Problem is कि people don't understand कि India is such a large country. Just because you are consuming it does not mean the entire country is consuming it. And अगर कोई product में barrier to entry easy है, तो खाली आपके लिए easy नहीं है, सबके लिए easy है. हर दिन मुझे एक peanut butter company reach out करेगा, and सबको लगता है खाली वही peanut butter बना रहे हैं. And इतने सारे products के साथ ये होता है कि प्रोटीन पाउडर और कुछ जो ट्रेंड होता है ना, फिर वो ट्रेंड में हर एक जन आ जाता है. सो माई स्ट्रॉन्ग एडवाइस इज प्लीज डोंट स्टार्ट कंपनीज जस्ट बिकॉज यू एंड योर सर्कल इज कंज्यूमिंग इट. अगेन आई वेंट टू अ प्लांट बेस्ड कॉन्फ्रेंस रिसेंटली, एंड पीपल लाइक सो मेनी almond milk companies and oat milk companies, and the mass of India is not consuming that. And अगर मैं आपको प्रमोट कर भी दूंगा तभी भी आपका सेल्स उतना नहीं बढ़ेगा, क्योंकि वो इंडिया अभी मांग ही नहीं रहा है उतना. एंड लाइक अगेन, लाइक व्हेन आई गो टू साउथ बॉम्बे, इट्स लाइक दे सेल lentil pasta and like many of these kind of products. Is your target market South Bombay or is it India? That is something which you should define in the beginning. Too many companies, because people who are starting company are usually well off, so they think that they are the customer, and people in their friend circle are eating whole wheat pasta and lentil pasta, so they are like, अच्छा lentil pasta company चालू करते हैं. And it is fine as long as you're fine creating a small business, and in most cases it will not be profitable. The other thing which in terms of labels I want to call out is your company healthy or is your company better? It's a very big difference. The problem is most companies call themselves healthy. आप healthy नहीं हो, आप better हो. So आप chips suppose launch कर रहे हो और उसमें थोड़ा एक कोई better quality ingredient डाल दिया आप, और आप अब सब जगह बोलने लग गए healthy chips, वो गलत है. आप तभी भी healthy नहीं हो. आप ये बोल सकते हो कि I am better than the existing alternative. I am cleaner. And yes, Shark Tank maybe I think Anupam Mittal, if I'm not wrong, has said this, कि you're not healthy, you are better. So call yourself better. Don't say you are healthy. You are just slightly better than the most famous brand in the country. So that is another thing which, from a marketing perspective as well, like, people should be knowing that are you healthy or are you better? So there's a difference between the two things. One other thing which I will also suggest to every single, if you're a food founder, at least have basic nutrition knowledge. There's too many people going after trends. थोड़ा एटलीस्ट अगर आपको नॉलेज नहीं है, एंड कैन आई गेट वाटर इफ पॉसिबल, अगर बेसिक नॉलेज नहीं है तो ट्राई करो एक टीम मेंबर कोई लो, कोई एक न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट को हायर करो या कुछ ना कुछ करो जिसको एटलीस्ट एक बेसिक नॉलेज हो. बिकॉज वंस अगेन पीपल आर स्टार्टिंग कंपनीज विदाउट रियलाइजिंग कि उनको बेसिक्स नहीं पता कि एक ग्राम ऑफ प्रोटीन में कितना कैलोरी है. एक चलो वो ट्रेंड चल रहा है, पाम ऑयल अभी ख़राब है तो चलो पाम ऑयल को नहीं रखते हैं, मतलब वो ट्रेंड के हिसाब से वो जाते हैं. बट अगर आपको एक थोड़ा भी और इन डेप्थ अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगा, देन यू विल बी एबल टू मेक मच बेटर चॉइसेस व्हेन यू आर क्रिएटिंग प्रोडक्ट्स. सो हुएवर योर R&D टीम इज, योर प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट टीम इज, they should not just be business people, they should also have a nutrition background. That has personally been one of my strengths, कि I combine nutrition with business. So I understand advertisement and things like that, and I have a decent nutrition background. There will be people who know nutrition way more than me. I'm not saying I'm like the biggest expert on nutrition, but I know enough to be able to make a decent decision. And there should be someone in your team who knows nutrition thoda bahut. Because if you do, you will even be able to make much better claims. कि कैसे सोचना है आप वो भी कर पाओगे. So that is something which I strongly recommend every company to, sorry, this clicker works by itself. Yeah. The other thing which I also tell people is, if you are a CPG company, don't just sell. Like, हर एक company बेच रहा है कि अच्छा अभी ये हमारा product है, it is the best product, it is the best peanut butter, it is the best almond butter. Educate people. And I'll give you one example of a company which is doing that. I have no affiliations with that company, Whole Truth Food. You'll see that in their social media, if you go to their YouTube channel, while they focus on chocolates, they focus on peanut butter, that company, they have videos on which oil is better for you. They have videos on which bread is better for you, how to choose white bread or brown bread. So they are making, their product is something completely different, but they are educating the audience on nutrition. So as a result, the audience has a reason to follow them. With most companies, खाली वो अपने प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हैं सोशल मीडिया पे. सो व्हाई विल आई फॉलो यू? मतलब मुझे पता है आप मेरे को इरिटेट करने वाले हो कि आप हर पोस्ट में खाली बोलोगे मेरा प्रोडक्ट बेस्ट है. सो मेरे पास कोई रीज़न नहीं है आपको फॉलो करने के लिए. बट कुछ कंपनी, जैसे मैं बोला होल ट्रूथ फूड्स, वो कंज्यूमर को एडुकेट कर रहे हैं. वो जो कैटेगरी में नहीं है वो भी कैटेगरी में एडुकेट कर रहे हैं कि आप ऑयल कैसे चुन सकते हो, आप ब्रेड कैसे चुन सकते हो, आप कैलोरी कैसे कम कर सकते हो, आप विटामिन B12 डेफिशिएंसी को कैसे कम कर सकते हो. तो एक कंज्यूमर को एक रीज़न है उनको फॉलो करने का. तो वो एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है. Ideally, I also tell people, like, from the product development standpoint, create the best products in the world do not have a nutrition label. So I keep telling people, read a label, read a label, read a label. I also have a label here. But the best products I say don't even have a nutrition label, like fruits and vegetables and things like that. But when I tell people consume products which don't have a nutrition label, some people jokingly, they're like, Acha, should I consume alcohol? Because alcohol is one of the only industries, इनका इतना strong lobbying है कि उनमें कोई nutrition label नहीं है. आप विस्की देखोगे कहीं नहीं लिखा है कितना कैलोरी है. हम जो दूध खरीदते हैं उसमें लिखा रहता है कितना कैलोरी है. विस्की में कोई न्यूट्रिशन लेबल नहीं है, ना ही कोई शुगर या कुछ बारे में बोलते हैं. Apparently even alcohol has a lot of these, even alcohol uses sugar. but we don't know how much there is. Why? Because there's so much strong lobbying. So anyway, I keep telling people ki buy products without a nutrition label like fruits, vegetables and things like that. Does not mean you buy alcohol. However, if you are buying a product with a nutrition label, with an ingredient list, I tell people to buy a product with a single ingredient. For example, a peanut butter. So a clean peanut butter has only peanuts, one ingredient, peanuts. But the not so good peanut butters, they have peanuts, sugar, vegetable fat, and sometimes other products as well. So to a customer, I tell people, audience को कि आप please खाली वही peanut butter खरीदे जिसमें peanuts हो. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम है कि कंपनीज टेस्टी बनाने के लिए शुगर को डालेंगे और वेजिटेबल फैट को डालेंगे और ये वो करेंगे और कॉस्ट को कम करने के लिए. So, as a manufacturer also, if you're trying to build a company which is clean, try to build one ingredient products as much as possible. If not one ingredient, 3 to 4 ingredients. But that is just an advice because that is usually the cleanest products. इसमें उतना कुछ है ही नहीं, एक ही ingredient है. Like oats में खाली oats है और कुछ है नहीं. Yeah. Also, once again, always think from a customer's perspective. Talk to the customer, understand what do they want. I have also made this mistake in my own journey. I'll tell you one thing. The first ever video I was going to make was going to be on tonic water. Like gin and tonic water mein jo tonic water hota hai. And then my video editor, that time he was 18 years old. 18-year-old guy like tonic water kya hota hai mujhe pata bhi nahi. And then he told me to make it on a much more famous product, which I am also kind of famous for now, which everyone consumes. So it was the insight which I got from him. If it was me, I would have made a tonic water video and I probably would not be standing here today. Like the reason I got famous was because I spoke about a product which was very famous. So you have to get I was inside there मैं US में था. 13 years मैं US में रहा हूँ. Suddenly मैं इंडिया आया तो मेरा पर्सपेक्टिव तो US वाला ही था ना. तो मैं सोचा चलो मैं टॉनिक वाटर के बारे में बताऊंगा वीडियो ये वो. फिर वो मेरे को बोला 18 साल का लड़का यूपी से है, उसको जेन्युइन इंडिया के बारे में पता है. वो बोला कि ये टॉनिक वाटर मतलब एक अगेन साउथ बॉम्बे को आप केटर कर रहे हो. वो एग्जैक्टली ये नहीं बोला बट लाइक दैट इज द पॉइंट. Then he told me, okay, you have to make videos on like more popular things like the children's health drinks and those kind of products, which is what I pivoted to and which is what got traction. Again, one more important thing is have a brand story. There are very few companies which have a full story. There are some companies which I've noticed, same company एक प्रोडक्ट क्लीन बनाएगा और जेन्युइनली अच्छा प्रोडक्ट है और उसका दूसरा प्रोडक्ट उतना ही खराब है. तो कोई कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं है. तो एज अ कस्टमर इफ यू बाय वन प्रोडक्ट यू आइडियली इट शुड बी की यू आर मार्केटिंग फॉर द अदर प्रोडक्ट एज वेल. आप एक खरीदोगे तो आपका दूसरा प्रोडक्ट का मार्केटिंग अपने आप हो गया. अनलेस यू हैव अ ब्रांड स्टोरी कि आपका हर एक प्रोडक्ट एक वो कैटेगरी में फिट हो रहा है, हर एक प्रोडक्ट भी थोड़ा बेटर है, तो वो होगा नहीं. देयर सम कंपनीज अगेन एज आई सेड one product is really good but then the customer will try the second product of the same company, it's not good. So that is like you are breaking the chain. Ideally एक theme के साथ जाओ. Like there was a chips brand, they had a theme no palm oil. बस और कुछ नहीं है. ये नहीं बोल रहे हैं healthy है नहीं है, बस एक theme है no palm oil. But at least वो थीम को फॉलो किया उन्होंने कि अब वो थीम को हर एक प्रोडक्ट में रखेंगे. तो आप भी एक थीम को फॉलो करो और वो थीम को हर एक प्रोडक्ट में अपने कैटेगरी में रखो. This I will once like this is just like don't be a mindless capitalist, be a conscious capitalist. So again, be innovative. So I have spoken about this a lot, and I am personally working on this project right now. Is every single nutrition label in India, the biggest problem is every nutrition label is in English. But only about 15 to 20% of India maximum reads and speaks English. So baki 80% ka kya hua? So I have told this to companies as well, and I myself am working on this. Can you not have a QR code in the front where आप स्कैन करो एंड आपको 10 लैंग्वेज का ऑप्शन आ जाएगा, हिंदी, मराठी, तमिल, ये वो, और कस्टमर क्लिक कर पाए और फिर वो सेम न्यूट्रिशन लेबल को आप हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट कर दो, तमिल में ट्रांसलेट कर दो, तो सडनली जो अभी आपका प्रोडक्ट खाली इंग्लिश वाले लोग समझ पा रहे हैं वो पूरा इंडिया को जाएगा. I have spoken about this to the government as well, not just to companies. कि try to create a rule कि every company has to put a QR code in their front of package जिसमें language translate हो. So these are certain things which I feel companies can be innovative with. Okay, why not let us cater to India, not just South Bombay? Like that will be something which you can again do. This is something which is interesting. Does this mic work? Hello? Hello? Yeah? Oh, this is good. I would have walked around if I knew this. So I always will encourage people. देखिए, India is a very tricky country. There is a public perception and there is science. And this is the center part. Ideally, your company should be here. India में क्या है, लोग को यूजुअली वही सुनना है कि इंडियन चीज़ अच्छे होते हैं. तो आप बोलो कि हनी अच्छा है, मतलब जो देसी चीज़ है ना, आप वो बोलो अच्छा है तो लोग को अच्छा लगता है, वो इसीलिए पब्लिक परसेप्शन. आप बोलो आर्टिफिशियल स्वीटनर ख़राब है, वो सब लोग को सुनने में अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि वो हिस्टोरिकली वही फॉलो करते आए हैं. और एक होता है साइंस. साइंस भी कुछ कुछ बोल रहा है कि दिस प्रोटीन डाइट इज गुड, दिस इज गुड, दैट इज गुड. आइडियली इफ यू कैन बी, योर प्रोडक्ट कैन बी समवेयर हियर जो पब्लिक परसेप्शन से भी अग्री करता है और साइंस से भी अग्री करता है. वो ट्रिकी स्पॉट सब लोग के पास नहीं होता है. बहुत लोग बस पब्लिक को लगता है कुछ अच्छा है तो बस उसके वो करके मार्केटिंग करो. लाइक आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिस इज बैड, आई एम नॉट सेइंग, but I'm just giving an example. Public loves haldi, tulsi, these things. I'm not saying these are bad. I'm just giving an example. So many companies will just stress कि हाँ हल्दी तुलसी ये वो, because they understand public को वो बहुत पसंद है ये सब देसी चीज़ सुनना. मतलब many Chyawanprash brands and all also like so that is like thing. In an ideal place, if you can create a product which is in the center of this, that both the public likes and science also backs it, then you can very confidently market yourself. Then you can very confidently put messages that doctors support us and public will also back you. So these are some strategies again that I have seen some companies doing. First is pie chart of ingredients. So इंस्टेड अभी क्या होता है, इंग्रेडिएंट्स जो होता है वो एकदम लाइक फॉन्ट 6 में को बोलूँगा, इतना टाइनी इंग्रेडिएंट लगता है आपको माइक्रोस्कोप दरकार होगा प्रॉब्ली. सो वन कंपनी आई सॉ इट, आई थिंक इट्स कॉल्ड फीड स्मार्ट. दे हैव देयर इंग्रेडिएंट्स इन अ पाई चार्ट. एकदम बड़ा बड़ा एक सर्कल में बना दिया है, 50% ये 60% ये वैसे करके. दैट इज अगेन एन इनोवेटिव स्ट्रैटेजी. इफ यू आर वांटिंग टू कॉल आउट दैट येस वी हैव हेल्दी इंग्रेडिएंट्स, that is a great way to do it. Other thing is, can you have your nutrition label in the front? There's a company recently which did this, that instead of having a nutrition label in the back, we are like, okay, we are proud of our ingredients. Instead of hiding, we are proudly displaying our nutrition label in the front. So जो गवर्नमेंट गाइडलाइन देता है FSSAI, ये सब मिनिमम गाइडलाइंस होता है कि आपको डिक्लेयर करना ही होगा अपना इंग्रेडिएंट, आपको न्यूट्रिशन लेबल लगाना ही होगा, वो सब मिनिमम गाइडलाइन होता है. But it is up to you to go one level ahead and be like, I will not go minimum guideline, I will go one step further. And because my product is so good, I am putting it in the front. So these are certain things which you can do to again showcase yourself as a better product. I will I will just conclude right now, and I will ask you guys to ask me some questions. Before that, if we can just play that one music video which is just released. Have you all seen Label Padhega India, the song? Okay, we'll just play it for 1 minute here, and then we'll take it from there.
Padhega India. Label Padhega India. Label Padhega India. लेबल पड़ेगा इंडिया अब लड़ेगा इंडिया सबसे करेगा इंडिया आगे बढ़ेगा इंडिया लेबल पड़ेगा इंडिया लड़ेगा इंडिया सबसे करेगा इंडिया आगे बढ़ेगा इंडिया लेबल पड़ेगा इंडिया देखो देखो कुछ काला है इस दाल में आम इंसान के निवाले पर सवाल है मिलावट दिखावट बस यही इनकी चाल है और इस चाल को बदलने के लिए कब से बेकरार है दो वक्त की रोटी के लिए हर कोई करता मेहनत लेकिन रोटी में ही खोट हो तो कौन रहेगा सहमत check your say her doctor tell me what the heck is going on something's wrong I feel like I won't be living too long food industry is the name munafa is the game brands try and brainwash us with all these shady claims सस्ते ingredients लगे उन्हें convenient उनको मानते obedient लेकिन they think we're idiots diet या healthy का label लेके ये बिकते हैं इसी दोगलेपन से तो मार्केट में टिकते हैं सेहतमंद लगने के लिए नेचुरल भी लिखते हैं कंज्यूमर्स को लेके सिर्फ धोखे के ये रिश्ते हैं पैकेज फूड्स की लत सबको क्यों लगी है क्या इस देश में किसानों की कमी है सही है जागरूकता ही चाहिए यही तो नहीं है लेकिन अब हम रेडी है अब लड़ेगा इंडिया सबसे करेगा इंडिया आगे बढ़ेगा इंडिया लेबल पड़ेगा इंडिया लड़ेगा इंडिया सबसे करेगा इंडिया आगे बढ़ेगा इंडिया लेबल पड़ेगा इंडिया लेबल पड़ेगा इंडिया लेबल पड़ेगा इंडिया लेबल पड़ेगा इंडिया लेबल
there was this movement which we just launched 3-4 days ago, and I was very fortunate that many like Olympic gold medalists and cricketers and influencers and so many more people joined. And after I've launched that movement, also like many celebrities like Shilpa Shetty and Samantha Ruth Prabhu and so many more people have joined. So if you guys want, even you guys can join. My details are on my social media page as well. And yeah, I would love to answer any questions which all of you have. Yeah, if you can.
Hi, Revant. Thank you for your valuable insights. We can see how scary the situation is in India. And you mentioned that you were in US for 13 years. How is the situation there? I just want to know.
That's a very good question. I feel कि इंडिया में सब कुछ openly होता है, US में थोड़ा सा sophisticated way में होता same चीज़ है. I'll give you an example. इंडिया में openly companies write sugar. Because in the US people read labels, they won't write sugar, they will use some other synonym. So they will make it a bit more difficult for the customer to understand. In India, because they know customers don't read labels, so openly sugar likh denge. So just like a bit more advanced, I just think in the US. Also one difference is that India relatively, because we have house helps in our home, and because we are a slightly more ghar ka khana wala culture, so one advantage is still we have lesser packaged food. US mein the packaged food consumption is even higher than India. So yes, the issue, this is a global issue. In fact, this Label Padhega India movement which I started, 2 days ago, someone in Ghana, some lady in Ghana posted Label Padhega India. Like, you know, she could have done Label Padhega Ghana, but she did Label Padhega India. Anyway, my point is, this issue is a global issue, and it's there in the US as well. I have lived in the UK as well. It's in UK as well. In my opinion, the best food quality, by and large, is in Europe. US and India is pretty low. And if you see in the last 1 month itself in India, there have been so many food issues. I won't name brands, but like, you know, every week we come across a new issue about some food or the other. So yeah, it's pretty bad in the US as well.
Hi, Revant. Revant, you're doing a fantastic job, and it's a nice campaign you launched. My first question is, what is your definition of healthy? Because out of 50 people sitting here, I'm sure everyone will be having a different definition. Second thing, second problem is people with half knowledge. आपने देखा होगा शार्क टैंक में, मेरे को देखा होगा फिट एंड फ्लेक्स को, जहाँ हमने FOS यूज़ किया था. FOS की बड़ी
मैं वो वीडियो देखा हूँ.
वो सबसे बड़ी कंट्रोवर्सी हुई थी. Okay, and it was very unfortunate because we are the only brand you're using FOS in our products, which is a prebiotic dietary fiber. It's not a sugar. So a second issue was this. Third thing is that whatever ingredients you have been, putting on your videos, there are always alternatives. There are alternatives available, not one, multiple. But it comes with 3x, 5x cost. Okay? And you have to understand that 90% of India is a mass. People talk about health, but no one wants to spend on the health. That's a sad reality. Second thing, we as Indians, we are foodie. Indians are ready to compromise on the health, but they are not ready to compromise on the taste. Okay, so there are a couple of points which I wanted to tell, and I think you need to also aware a consumer that boss, you need to spend on healthy product or health. It's not always a price.
So 100% I agree with every single thing you said. Thank you. And so I always tell people, and I need to do a better job with this, and I agree that I need to focus a lot more. I say that spending on health is a second insurance premium. हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, आप हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस में आप 1000 रुपया पर मंथ जितना भी होता है वो आप दोगे, बट अच्छा खाना पे आप नहीं दोगे. लोग डॉक्टर को 500 रुपया 1000 रुपया देने में सोचेंगे नहीं. एंड देयर इज अ stat that an average Indian is spending 15,000 rupees per year on diabetes medicine. Obviously it increases a lot in the older ages, but if you आप 15,000 रुपया हर साल डायबिटीज़ मेडिसिन में दे दोगे, बट आप हेल्दी खाना में अगर कोई 300-400 रुपया एक्स्ट्रा आपको बोलेगा तो आप नहीं दोगे. तो आई अग्री, इवन आई नीड टू डू अ बेटर जॉब टू एजुकेट द पीपल कि यस टू बाय हेल्दियर. एंड जो आप बोले थे वो सही है, वो FOS वाला या वो सब, देखिए ना एक जर्नी होता है हेल्थ का. अभी मैं अवेयर कर रहा हूँ कि इंग्रेडिएंट लिस्ट पढ़ो. अब उसमें ऑब्वियसली अगर 10 लाख लोग पढ़ने लग गए, हो सकता है कि 50,000 लोग गलती भी करें और बाकी 9,50,000 लोग अच्छा चीज़ करें. तो वो एक जर्नी होता है. जब आप लाखों लोग को कैटर कर रहे हो, वो कुछ ना कोई गलती कर देगा. आपका हो सकता है वो अनफॉर्चुनेट था कि आपका वो लक खराब था कि आपका FOS में वो हो गया. वो तो वो एक होता है, एक जर्नी में कुछ लोग का वो हो जाता है. बट धीरे धीरे लाइक ऑब्वियसली हाफ नॉलेज इज बेटर, बट अगेन आप मास मार्केट में जा रहे हैं का कोशिश कर रहे हैं, उनको कुछ भी नहीं पता. मतलब कि उनको थोड़ा बहुत भी धीरे धीरे अवेयर करो और फिर 3-4 साल 5 साल में धीरे धीरे वो अवेयर होंगे. अच्छा FOS अच्छा, वो अच्छा ही होता है. तो एक वो जर्नी होता है. आई एम लाइक कैन नॉट सॉल्व एवरीथिंग इमीडिएटली.
Definition of healthy. Definition of healthy.
Oh yeah, definition of healthy. I don't know if that definition exists, or again, as you said, everyone will have their own definition. And I am trying to again, I am not trying to dissuade your question कि मैं जानबूझ के कुछ और बात करने लग गया, but I am trying to go after a very mass market जो बिल्कुल भी नहीं हेल्थ के बारे में जानता है. अगेन मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दूंगा. ब्रांड के बिना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है बोलना, बट मैं लोग को बोलता हूँ सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक मत पियो. एक लड़का था, मैं वो बोला कि मैं वो ब्लैक वाला सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक छोड़ दिया हूँ, बट अब मैं कैसे मैं बोलूँ, अब मैं लाइक आई हैव द ट्रांसपेरेंट वाला ड्रिंक, लाइक सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक. दे थिंक दैट जस्ट बिकॉज द ड्रिंक इज ट्रांसपेरेंट it's good for them. It's not as harmful. That is the level of misknowledge in the market. They think that having atta noodles is better because it will give them fiber. I have it regularly, every day there. My point is there is so much misinformation, so much that कि आप थोड़ा basic भी awareness कराओ तो you can make people much more healthy. So again, I'm not being able to answer your question on what is healthy. I mean, the government guidelines, of course, is like whatever 2,000 to 2,500 calories and 30 grams of fiber and 2,000 milligrams of sodium and things like that. For me, I do not have a clear definition, to be very honest. It's just if you have a company, just try to be honest is my point. कि आप जो बेच रहे हो वही सब सही बोल दो.
One question I have. You have been doing a great job with the awareness campaign, and you have been saying that don't eat this and don't eat that, don't eat these brands, don't follow these brands. It's great. But going forward, do you think that you will also have to start recommending the alternatives? Because people understand that we don't have to eat this,
Yeah.
but what to eat.
No, I understand that. So the thing is, my reputation unfortunately has become that I only say don't eat this. But if you watch the full video, most of the times I also say, okay, XYZ product is bad, but instead you can have this product which is slightly better. Yes, I do agree. The mistake I make is that I focus most of my energy on why this is bad. I do not spend as much time on why this product is good. Yeah, that is also one challenge, to be completely honest. There is कि इतना like जो mass market, as आप बोले थे कि price में इतना फर्क भी है ना, तो जो mass market brand है कोई healthy है ही नहीं ज़्यादातर, जो एकदम mass market brand है, क्योंकि वो obviously 10 रुपये में आप healthy कैसे दोगे? So problem ये भी है कि alternatives भी बहुत कम है. मैं alternative देता हूँ, but जो alternatives रहते हैं महंगा होते हैं, फिर customer भी होते हैं, अरे you are giving me an alternative which is so expensive. अब यहाँ पर मेरे को ब्रांड्स लेने का नाम मना किया है.
Actually, sir, है काफ़ी. So, can I just, Revant?
हाँ.
So, I can answer your definition of health. I'm a doctor, and I also have started a food company.
Oh wow.
So, health is basically, clinically, if I say, all your parameters, blood parameters, as well as your mental capacity, all those parameters, they should be in balance. So, even if you eat a little bit of junk food, but if you balance it out with exercising, that still maintains your blood parameters. That's clinically. But the definition per se is absence of any disease or affirmity. So that's...
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Also, Revant, I wanted to discuss with you. So I and my nutritionist friend, we have started food products for they should be better than what that is available in the market, right? So when we are taking it to market, especially in the offline retail market, the issue that we are facing is the shelf life should be longer. Otherwise, they won't keep it on the shelf. It doesn't, 70% shelf life honi chahiye, so we can't keep it over there. So when you said one ingredient products, of course that should be there, but there are also natural preservatives that can be used, which again, as someone mentioned, cost बढ़ जाती है. So ये I think आप topic अगर आपके awareness videos में आप cover कर सकते हो.
आप मेरे को 100% that agar aap also, I'll have to connect with you afterwards also, and you know, if you can also educate me as well on what are the preservatives which are relatively cleaner, like not all preservatives are bad, especially in small quantities. So
Exactly. I mean it's 0.05%, जो actually cost में भी add नहीं होता है और health case में भी it doesn't make a damage.
yeah, no, I
So,
agree.
yeah.
I also will tell you that again, that pie chart or that Venn diagram I had ना, that public perception, वो भी बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. वो preservative अगर खराब नहीं भी हो, हाँ वो preservative word से लोग को वो है, तो आपको ideal basis में अगर आप वो center में कर पाओ ना कोई product, क्योंकि हमेशा public perception को आपको देखना होगा. I mean, clean label is just an honest label कि जो नहीं.
I have a question to ask.
We'll get it.
She's saying something. Okay. So I have a.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I have a two question to ask.
Yeah.
As you talk about food and practices in the industry, I have my gut health brand into nutraceutical, but it's in Ayurveda form. But That is second question. But first question, when you talk about reading labels, that is into D2C market, it should also apply to food industries, to Swiggy and Zomato as well. Because like recently I ordered a cupcake for my small sister, okay? It came with a fly inside. So then she never had a cupcake from Swiggy ever. So we had to make it at home. But such education is missing, that Swiggy is not even emphasizing whether the cupcake is stale, it is good, it is bad, because a child eating a fly cupcake is also very important, and all we got was 120 rupees refund. But that doesn't justify the trauma we had to not trust them again or to order food from outside, because no industry is following food practices in the restaurant business. Ideally, because everybody is vouching on D2C so much. I am a D2C brand founder, right? But I still believe that food industry should also have restaurants into it. So Swiggy and Zomato is equally liable to follow this quality.
Yeah.
So that was my one part. I think that should also be addressed into your videos, because we are completely missing on the point on that. That I have the photo also, that stupid cupcake.
So
with
I'll
the
tell you
fly
one
on.
thing, one like funny and like a thing is like lunchtime होते ही ना मेरे को at least 3 email आएंगे from different parts of India with an insect or a cockroach. Like every time lunch किसी का भी insect या cockroach food में आता है, first person the email is me. एंड आई एम लाइक लंच टाइम में मैं अपना फ़ोन चेक ही नहीं करता हूँ आजकल, क्योंकि मैं फ़ोन चेक करूँगा लंच टाइम, मेरे को पता है अरे यार कॉकरोच आएगा अभी, मेरे को मेरा खाने का मन नहीं करेगा. सो माई पॉइंट इज़ येस, आई मीन टू ऑन अ मोर सीरियस नोट, आई डू अग्री दैट देयर इज़ अ प्रॉपर like some consumer forum or somewhere where this should be addressed, because obviously I cannot personally address every single insect in the country, whatever is happening. Also, one thing from the not like for the manufacturers from their perspective, I'm not trying to justify it at all. When you sell lakhs of units or crores of units, sometimes there are mistakes as well. I'm not saying that justifies them having that, but like I personally don't make videos when there are insects and things like that. Every day I'm tagged, every single day. I don't make it because I feel sometimes it's an honest mistake made by the company that if they're selling 1 lakh units, एक unit खराब हो सकता है. Insect is थोड़ा extreme, but कुछ एक अगर थोड़ा एक मोल्ड लग गया है, कुछ हो गया, वो आप इतना ज़्यादा क्वांटिटी में बेच रहे हो तो एक कुछ खराब हो सकता है. But yeah, to answer your point, I feel like there should be a more better consumer forum where this can be addressed.
And second point was that now that we are in Ayurveda, okay, a lot of companies have come with nutraceuticals which are just ready-made labeling, okay. No offense, I love private labeling as well, but we also go in depth with our formulations, right? If I go to a manufacturer, it's very easy for a person to start a brand, but are you a responsible brand owner? Are you just putting your label behind the packaging? No. Like when you say no preservative, as you said, ma'am, there are a lot of alternatives. For us, we did not compromise the quality of our ingredients. We are a Gen Z driven brand as well. We want to promote harad, amla, ashoka chal, which is very potent ingredient in Ayurveda, but we want to retain the taste of it so the consumers like it, the new generation. So we used apple peel. There are alternatives as a brand we can take. And for preservatives, we have zero preservative brand. We use neem as a preservative. We use Ayurvedic ingredients. So if you talk to your manufacturer and work on a product which is actually solving concern with no preservative, I think brand ethics matters a lot when it comes to preservatives and overall feeling of the brand and what you're delivering. So I think every brand owner, even the manufacturers and the people who are manufacturing the products for us, the R&D team should also focus being very much responsible rather than just giving quick fix what they've used for 10 years. But I think the world is changing and we should not sell a product or launch a product until unless they are very sure of what they're selling. It is also a brand's responsibility, not just manufacturer, consumers to read the label, but also ours that we deliver the right product.
Yeah, 100%. Do you have a specific question or?
So I wanted to know this only in terms of like there are a lot of like manufacturers, finding a right manufacturer is one thing, but it's not somebody who is just giving you labeling and just printing your label, but understanding the right way. And in terms of using, okay, for example, I'll give you best example. Okay, everybody is vouching matcha so much, but do you know that kokum, soul curry? I'm Maharashtrian. Okay, I drink soul curry a lot, so I'm doing that only, sir. So how do we emphasize the food trends from our roots and not overcompensate from the Korean and Japanese that are coming into Gen Z, but actually educate more people into it?
So how do we, educate more people about?
The new generation who are so much into matcha trend, this trend and that, but educate through our ingredients itself.
Got it. I mean, from an individual, I am an individual at the end of the day. I am doing label Padhega India right now, then I'm also going to start label Seekhega India, where I will hopefully address some of your things as well. So I can personally, focus on what I understand more. I understand food labels more. I don't understand Ayurveda ingredients as much. So if there is a Ayurveda specialist who even out here in the room, if you can join me and then we teach people together, because I have the distribution and you have the knowledge, and then we can do it together. Similarly, I have been told a lot by the beauty industry. Every day I am reached out very strongly by the beauty industry, the makeup industry कि वहाँ भी कितना कुछ स्कैम हो रहा है, लोग बोल देंगे नीम है, ये है, वो है, लेकिन कुछ डालते नहीं है अपने प्रोडक्ट में, या कोई 0.0001% डाल देंगे और बोल देंगे. So I have so far not gotten into the beauty industries because I don't understand it as well. So I don't want to claim something and then make a mistake. So that is the challenge. So if you want an expert, if you also have an expert in the Ayurveda space or in the beauty space, feel free to join me, and I'm happy to give my platform to you. But on a more, I think these kind of things probably have to also be done by the government and the regulatory bodies. I myself can do a small amount based on whatever I know. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, keeping into mind time constraint, we'll have one last question. Revant will be here with us for some time, so we can take up the other questions with him one-on-one for sure.
Thank
Yes,
you.
one last question.
Thank you. Hi, Revant. It's a great initiative. Thank you so much for starting that in India.
Don't miss over 200 exhibitors on the ground level. Hall 1, food and beverages. Hall 2, beauty cosmetics, cleaning home care, Ayurveda and herbal packaging, and much more. Thank you.
Would you call yourself an activist, an influencer, or an educator?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite question. I hate the word influencer. Especially I hate the word creator. Influencer at least has some positive connotation. The word creator just puts you in the category that you are doing a prank. Creators are doing a lot of things. The thing is, if I were to choose between one of the three, I would choose educator. To keep the answer short, I would choose educator, because at the end of the day, I'm educating the public about whatever I'm about this food and the things like that. Other words, possibly change maker, maybe. The thing is, all I'm doing is using social media as the medium. Like अगर आप सड़क में जाके suppose मैं करता कि अरे ये खराब है, तो लोग मेरे को activist बोलते. या अगर मैं TV पे बोलता, someone who uses their voice on TV, they're not called a TV activist. But I am sometimes called a social media activist. It's just a term because social media में बोला तो social media activist है, तो TV में बोला तो TV activist नहीं, तब तो activist हो. Social media word ही क्यों डालना है? Educate कर रहे हो ना आप? हाँ. मतलब that is just a medium.
The question I have is, when you say you're an educator, is because as Indians, we do have that tendency that if, say, for example, one of the celebrities selling something for men's health, people blindly can be influenced by it, even if it works or not. So when we are educating people about the labeling, they're looking at the sugar, but they're not looking at the sodium or the salt, which is probably in a dangerous amount in the same label. If people will blindly follow them, we can't half educate them, because then some of the brands can actually burn out and can copy it. So as an educator, like a teacher, I have a responsibility to teach you from 1 to 10, and I can't just skip 9. So should we actually not half teach Indian population? Because I know that my mom, who is a middle class woman, will go like he said, sugar is bad, sugar is bad, sugar is bad. But then she will have Diet Coke. Then she will have fruit juice, which has pH of battery acid, and they do not mention that pH on the label anywhere. So how can we actually educate Indian mass, who is in probably 80 different language, but still give them the knowledge so that they don't block out or they don't burn out certain brands without having full information on it?
So I agree with whatever you're saying. So most people just know me from social media. I'm also actually working with like some very senior people in the food industry, and we're trying to see how to get food in the school curriculum. So just the way we study history, geography, can we study food in our schools? So I teach people for 1 or 2 minutes on social media. Like literally my video is 1 minute long, so I cannot give you full information in 1 minute. And even if I launch my own online class, it will be 2 hours long. It will never be like a full school syllabus. So, but that's why we're trying to get food in the school syllabus such that you study it for 4-5 years, you'll get full education. But I will also, one thing which I want to point out, when you try to create large-scale change, there are mistakes. And there are some brands which may have to suffer as well. Just because you're trying to create so much large-scale change, if you use very complicated language, if you use full research report, mein ye hua, ye citation hai, ye hai, you will only be able to target only the super educated people. The first step is to get people to at least start looking at the label. Then they will look at the sugar. And then maybe after 1 or 2 years, then they'll look at the salt. It will not be, everything will not be able to have at the same go. That's the unfortunate reality of the world, is that if you tell people also look at sugar, also look at salt, also look at this fiber content and look at the protein and things like that, they will not look at anything. So it's a step at a time. And once again, this room is the most educated probably amongst, like, on an average basis in India, on average. There's so much of, people have no idea. So, you have to just start and one level at a time, is my point.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Who did this?
Ladies and gentlemen, one and only Revant Himatsingka. Ladies, oh, huge round of applause. I need you here. I think this is going to stay on our minds for a very, very long time. Aage Padhega India, label Padhega India. So thank you so much for that thought-provoking session. So much awareness, a total eye-opener. We have a small token of appreciation for you, requesting a founder of CMPL, one and only Vicky Menezes, to please come on stage and do the honors. I can't hear the claps. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, give it up for him, please.